live, right?
Now we're live.
Hey, everybody. It's T-Man with these other guys.
That's all you got. Keep
and
going.
that's all I got right there. We're going to have an
Yeah,
excellent show tonight.
you got to fill in for Dave.
Well, I can't think of anything, so let's just do the normal stuff.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, all you action figure aficionados out there. Welcome to an episode of Figure Action. It is the new year. Yay! In case you notice, for anybody that went to work in the new year, it's the same crap as the old year's work. The same people as the old year. So you get
Unless they got fired.
You get to write 2019, but then write 18, but then scribble out the 8 and put a 9 in for a few days or weeks or however long it takes you to learn.
Yep. Or like me, before I was actually preemptively writing the 9 and then crossing it out and putting the 8 in. Now I'm writing an 8 and crossing that out and putting 9 in. And
so your preemptive strike actually cost you more work.
Yeah, let's just say a lot of extra TPS reports.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Next year is going to be 2020. Is that going to be called the Roaring 20s?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how you feel about that.
We see the news, though, like this pre-order is coming up and this figure is going to release in 2020. And then, or this movie's coming out in 2020. It's like, man, that's a long time. Why is it? That's a long wait. But then it's like, no.
I'm still figuring out, what do we call the time period that we're in right now?
They call them the zeros or the aughts.
The aughts.
Yeah,
the aughts.
And then the, I don't know, what we're in now is just a bunch of
the teens.
I don't know, the teens, I guess. Joe, what is that mug? It looks very festive. Is it a Batman mug?
This is a Batman mug.
Yeah.
Filled with Jack Daniels and Coke.
So everybody's mug should have a utility belt at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we thank you all for coming back out and joining us this evening. With me, we have a limited cast. We may have a few members join later. We may not. We'll play it by ear. Dave said that his stomach is very upset. He's making a big mess all over the house. I don't know if there's any cleanup involved yet. We live far enough away where we don't have to worry about it. So,
yes,
Dave, we hope you keep it all in you. Unless it's stuff that needs to come out. So with us this evening, we have Mr. Joe Crab.
Howdy, everybody. How you doing?
With his oversized Batman mode. And then
how are you doing?
Also joining us is Team Meh 978.
Meh. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm clever.
Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm glad to be here. I don't have a mess. I might have had a mess last week, and that's why we didn't have a show.
Yeah, that was a few of you, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't get into that. Let's just say the show was better off not having existed at all. So you're welcome. That's your Christmas gift from Figure Action, is that they didn't get in on like sick and whatever the hell else they were doing. But I'm rambling. Today, what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about the hauls. It's been a while since we've been together here in show form. We constantly chat, but let's talk. We'll start with Mr. T-Mat 978. What do you have haul wise? Oh, is he okay? There he is.
Wait, am I here?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, good.
No pineapple.
Because I'm looking at my other screen and I don't see myself. But
I see.
I wound up with this guy since the last time we were on here, Iron Factory's Rush Beat, and then I wound up with another Iron Factory Rush Beat, and I don't know, the person who gave it to me, he ordered it before I ordered mine, and his got held up somewhere. The box was beat to hell. Somehow this box survived. But now I'm in a debate on whether I just want to have an extra jazz or what I want to do. I think I want to have an extra jazz just in case I lose or mess up the other one. Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be playing with it.
Iron Factory's built pretty sturdy, though. I don't think you're in danger of messing that up unless you.
I scraped up the toes.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was gonna say, how can we find out your thoughts about this, Jazz?
I put him in my pocket because I was carrying him around. So I guess that's what happens. And I bought this Val yesterday. I went out to do a toy hunt. Then I bumped into Kevin Womack, and we wound up at like 3-4 more stores. And when I got home, it was like 10 o'clock at night. I was like, what the hell? But, crap. I'm pretty sure I got a whole bunch of other stuff. Hold on.
Well, I mean, you can certainly chime in if you think of more stuff. What's it? What you doing there, team man? Which going on?
He's about ready to jump
I'm
out.
about to switch the camera around.
Ah.
If I can. I don't know what's being shown up here. This little background right here, or these pieces, and I have my lamp.
Oh no!
I don't know. The little screen I'm looking at is so small. I don't know what it's actually showing. Let me see.
Yeah, we can see your new
Oh, here it
orange
is.
technical background or whatever the hell.
Yeah,
it's
it was super zoomed in. But I think I got that since the last time. And
I don't think you actually ever said anything to us about it, did you? I just noticed it in the videos all of a sudden. I meant to ask you, but totally forgot.
I thought I showed y'all.
You may well have.
I know I remember talking to Zero about it. That might have been one of the days you had to do something. Like holiday party or something.
Yeah. That's what we said.
It's cool. I need to buy like 3 more sets so it can be bigger. Like I didn't even have enough pieces to fit right there or fit in the front down there. And I wanted to extend it more at the bottom. And yes, I have a rack of crap all over the place.
Which set is that?
Damn it.
I think it's what's it? Wild Kids.
Yes, Wild Kids.
Wild Kids.
Wild Kids, something base.
Okay.
But look up Wild Kids with a Z.
Gray ray.
But they're cool. They have pegs on one side, no pegs on the other side. Enough to fit like the SH figure art stands and whatnot. And of course these little hands that come with them. But I think y'all saw our gift exchange and whatnot. So y'all saw these for this dude.
I would say I would put a link to that in the description, but I'm not going to remember that. So just search for our other videos.
Oh, yeah, I found this when I went to go see Spider-Man. His face, of course, it ain't going to focus on it.
It's a little tiny.
His face is really messed up. Now there it is. They didn't put all the paint on there. The other one does have paint.
Is that just a little static pose, Bumblebee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The leg moves a little bit, but I'm probably ripping it off and don't realize it. But he's standing there looking like Bigfoot. But that's it.
Sounds good.
What did you get, Joe?
Joe?
I got quite a bit actually because it's been 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. I got Masterpiece Bumblebee, the G1 Bumblebee. I got the Make Toys Jazz, the Ocular Max Trailbreaker. What else did I get? Oh, I got this really neat Koto Bukiya. These little tiny plastic people, little model kits. I didn't do any paint or anything on it. They're like really, really small.
They don't have boobs?
Yeah, she's got boobs. She definitely has boobs. They're like armored boobs. So it counts. And then one of the big pickups that I'm really, really happy with, this thing is like really blowing me away, is the Justice League Mezco 112 Batman. This is the tactical suit Batman. This thing is like it blows away the SH Figure Arts Batman for only $20 more. I don't own any Hot Toys, but I've handled Hot Toys. It is like it truly is a mini Hot Toys You know, the soft goods are awesome. The cape is probably one of the best capes I've ever seen on a figure. The sculpt is amazing. It's perfect.
I
I
think they
can't.
move a little bit better than Hot Toys, to be honest.
From what I've seen from Hot Toys, I would agree with that. They do. They move a lot better. The only thing I would say that this probably could do a little bit better is a little bit more forward ankle tilt to try to get into like a more of a dynamic pose. But other than that, I mean, he's just like he's outstanding. Like and he's like bulky as all get out. It just
Might have to break the ankle in, but don't take my.
I mean,
don't take me gospel.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked it back and forth, and it just could be a little bit further range. It's not that it's tight or anything. It's just it could be a little further range. It feels like it bottoms out right there. But yeah, I really love this thing. This thing's awesome. And I think that may be it.
Kiwi Collector says he has a sweet hoodie.
I do have a sweet hoodie. Dragon Ball.
I saw some on the Geek app. I think it's like Wish.com. They had different colors.
Oh yeah, you posted that.
I was thinking about that for my son.
Let's see, what did I get? So for Christmas, my wife actually surprised me. She reached out and contacted Extra Zero to make sure that she was getting something legitimate, but she went on eBay and she got me my first and only official MP10. So I'm in the MP10 club now. The only other MP10 that I had was the MP10V, the Voyager knockoff. So now I'm in the MP10 club, and she knows I have MP44 on pre-order, and I said, does this mean now I should cancel that and just replace that? And she made it known that she wants me to have all the official Masterpiece Primes. So yeah. She did her part.
If she would have said no, I would have been suggesting bad things for your marriage.
And let me see what else. Right after Christmas, I got in. I don't think I talked about this guy. I think that's when I got right after Christmas, but maybe right before. I don't know. If you've seen him before, I don't think you have, but I got in the Magic Square Trailbreaker or Trailblazer, and this guy is awesome. He does have a little bit of the looseness problems in the waist, like right there. If you unclick the hinge, the joint here, this is supposed to sit down, and then he actually has a separate waist joint right there, an ab crunch, I mean. But if this part comes out, it can be a little bit, and even then, like you see, it's not really loose per se, but it doesn't fit, doesn't stay. It just doesn't tab in. Yeah, and it's not like that's literally the big problem with it. Everything else is fine. And let's see if I can get in there. He's got an awesome head sculpt. He's got his little arm cannon. He's got his force field generator, shoulder cannon. He's good to go. This guy, highly recommend from me if you like Magic Square stuff. And in fact, even if you don't get Legend stuff, like you really should go pick your favorite character that Magic Square offers and just get a little, I mean, just grab one. Just throw them on your desk. You'll thank me.
Does the waist rotate?
Does the waist rotate?
Yeah. Yeah. Kick the leg for it.
Every Magic Square that I've seen has gotten better and better, and none of them are really bad.
So none of them are bad. So the only kind of tiny gripe with this guy, besides that, and if I had to bitch a little bit, is that the knee is high, but that's also Trailbreaker's design. So you have one bend here, right? Mm-hmm. But what some people, I don't know, may or may not notice is that the red part, and it's tight as hell, but the red part actually bends too. So he has a double knee bend. That can be a little ugly, but it looks fine. I mean,
I'm shocked that they made him one of the first releases.
The Trailbreaker doesn't get any love, man. I mean, and then so you can transform him actually, and they're clever with the wrist, what do you call it? The little blaster on his built in on his hand, because he holds it in his folded in hand. You just fold his hand back in, and then he actually holds it tabbed in, which is pretty cool.
I've seen that before.
Yeah,
I can't remember what figure it was.
So all the other pieces, these two can stay on him when he transforms with minimal effort. And then this doesn't actually have storage on him when he's in car mode or truck mode. But I found that if you turn him upside down, I'm not going to do it now, but if you turn him upside down, there is a cavity that this actually will wedge into, and I am fine with that because it stays. And when it comes to wedging things into cavities, I find that it's good to go. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Let me see. I picked up off the eBay sale. I actually went ahead and got the SH Figure Arts Dragon Ball Super Future Trunks. Here he is, very angry with his rage hair, Super Saiyan rage hair.
Jealous.
I will say, so Joe and I have talked about this before, that when it comes to Dragon Ball Figure Arts releases, it seems like they have some that are kind of okay, like that are lacking in accessories, and there's some that totally make up for that, like Goku Black, that has a crap ton of stuff that make it feel worth the price. If you're looking to only get those, this guy's one of them. This guy has a ton of crap that makes him feel like he is absolutely worth every penny. Let me see if I can get that without a glare. He comes with a powered down head, a bunch of faces, a bunch of hands. He comes with the Sword of Hope, the Gallic gun, broken hilt, full sword, you name it.
Does that sword come out the sheath?
So this one stores in with the broken sword. I don't think the full sword can fit in there, but don't quote me on that. I haven't tried. I think it's only meant to fit the broken sword.
You should try.
I should, but I don't want to scrape up the paint.
Jam it in there. If it bends and if it sounds like it's about to crack, just push harder.
Just push harder. That's how I approach it.
As you pull it
out. Figure Action is not liable for anybody breaking their toy based on our advice. And then the last thing, when we were in the Disney store at the mall, I saw that they had a toy box Stitch, and this guy is for $13. This thing is friggin' awesome. So
those toy box figures are actually really neat.
They are, especially for the price. Especially when you can get a full size Hulk figure or Hulkbuster for, I think the upper charge is $15 for those, 15 and change. Yeah, they're pretty good. Some of them are a little loose here and there. Some of them, the accessories don't quite fit with the rest of it, but it's all nitpicky stuff. Like
I like how they all have like that kind of cartoony
aesthetic.
Like, yeah,
that's a word. I came up with that just now.
That's a good word.
So if you're looking to see more about the Stitch, we have a review video posted on this channel, so you can see that.
That's
okay,
awesome. So go watch it.
Go watch it, but not now.
I remembered some stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got the rest of the G1 mini bots that I didn't have. I don't think I talked about this, but I got that Captain America 2-pack because it was like $20 at GameStop. So I finally found it, and that's it. We can start the topics.
Okay. Let's talk a minute. So let's go to Siege real quick, because that's the name of the episode is alluding to the whole, I don't want to say controversy because that gives it more weight than it really is worth. But I guess people are finding the leader class Siege Wave 1 figures of Ultra Magnus and Shockwave in Targets. I've heard that they're street dated for
like the 7th. I think.
The 7th, yeah.
6th or 7th.
But stores are letting them go, obviously, because they're out in the wild. By all accounts that I've seen, the Ultra Magnus is really good and worth every penny. It's not quite as bulky and big as the one that came out previously, but it still scales pretty well, and the interior white Prime scales pretty well with the Siege Prime that came out. So I've heard enough people say that Ultra Magnus is good. The problem, I guess, comes in, and I say problem with massive air quotes, because, again, this isn't really a big issue. I just thought it was funny. But the Shockwave, I've been hearing some folks say that they're having problems with the Shockwave because it doesn't seem like it's worth leader class prices. Because, A, the accessories included, and the height of the figure. So I'm fine with it. I think it looks awesome. I love the upgrade kit or the armor kit and all that comes with it. I'll probably end up getting him maybe on discount. But what do you guys think?
I'll probably end up buying it as soon as I see it. And then once I get it, I might complain about it on my review, but I'll eventually just let it go. But when I really, really, really think about it, the figure is a $30 Voyager class size figure.
Sure.
And then it comes with the extra, like you kept accidentally saying, add-on kit. Like
I did. I said that. Thanks for pointing it out.
Like, if you really think about it, if another company decided to make that little extras, the add-on parts for him, they would charge about $30 or whatever, and people would buy it. So you're sort of getting a discount, but I do wish it was a little bit bigger. But I do actually like what I'm saying as far as the figure. It has everything. Ankle pivot. I didn't think the wrist rotated, but the wrist rotates. The light piping looked good.
The light piping looks amazing. Have you?
Yeah. I didn't see whether the head could look up and down like the Masterpiece figure.
I didn't notice that.
I don't think I've seen anybody talk about that. And I think PR and the other person that I've never seen a review from that person before. But PR never really shows the articulation and all that in detail. So I'll have to find out when somebody else gets it or I finally find it.
What do you think of the Magnus?
The Magnus. Seeing it beside the Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus, I was okay with it, but when I saw them side by side, I was like, holy crap. Look how short it is. But I'll have to take his word on that too, that it weighs about the same or more than the Combiner Wars one. The Combiner Wars one, mine broke because it's so thin and I didn't store it correctly, but I'm used to being able to throw stuff into a bin for a second while I'm moving things around, pulling it back out and it still be intact. But like I could see stress marks on one of the legs, like the leg is going to just rip off because that's how thin it is.
So it actually broke or it just has serious stress marks?
First thing was the problem was they gave me two of the same shoulder joints. So that was a problem and I never took it back to the store. But then I'm looking at the leg, I'm like, if I drop this, the leg will just break off. But from what I'm seeing of the Siege Ultra Magnus, it looks really, really sturdy.
Yeah, it looks like, and we've seen with the Siege stuff too. It's all good, thick plastic. So, so far anyway, by all accounts that they've been. It's funny too because with everything that's come out, like normally there's a runaway hit, right? With a wave, I have seen every figure in forums and postings and stuff. I've seen people like declare every figure in the wave of the, at least of the deluxes, as being the absolute breakaway hit. Everyone, I've seen a bunch of people say Sideswipe Hound. What's the other one's name?
Cog.
Yeah.
Skytread.
Yeah, I've seen everybody mention each one of them as like that's the one to get. So you're in for some good stuff when this is just the first wave and they're really swinging for the fence here. So I don't know.
I don't know if they got to be smaller so that the plastic can be thicker. I guess I'll live with it.
Sure.
I'll just pick and choose old toys to display with the new toys since they aren't like completely the same scale.
I mean, again, like with action poses, as long as they're not like standing in like yearbook poses next to each other, I think if you got an action scene going on, it's going to be just fine. They're close enough where I don't think that's going to be a problem. But you do you. Everybody you get the ones you want, or none of them.
Well, I'm
what do you think, Joe?
to the whole mainline, collecting. I've never really collected those before. I don't have a problem with the height of Shockwave. Seeing him next to the Megatron, he is a head or two shorter. And actually, I was just looking at the Masterpiece Shockwave, and I have the Make Toys Masterpiece Megatron, and he's about the same height difference. So I think that's fine with me. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I can see some people if they're a little upset about saying it's leader class and charging $50 for it just because it comes with the extra plastic bits. But I think as long as everything scales together and they all look good together,
right?
Then that's what I would care more about. And I'm wondering if maybe, I mean, I've looked into the history of it a little bit. It seems like they've been all over the place with scale. I mean, the source material has been all over the place with scale too.
Sure.
But maybe it's more of they're not looking at leader class as like a scale. Maybe they're just looking at leader class as
A price
the
point.
the price, the value that they're giving you for that $50 price point,
Right.
what you're getting, not so much the size. Because like that deluxe Ironhide that we were talking about in the chat, it looks like it's going to scale, even though it's a deluxe and Hound is a deluxe. It looks like Ironhide's going to be a little bit taller, as he should be, than Ironhide
The Hound.
or than Hound, and they're going to look good together, but they're going to be the same price point. How they're doing it to get it that maybe Ironhide's going to have some more empty space and waffling or something. I don't know, to get the plastic weight down, but yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, that's a good point though. Saying that the leader class stuff is more of it's like a parts count. Like it's not, you're not getting a large figure. You could be getting a small figure with a crap ton of accessories. Good way of thinking about it.
If anybody in the chat has a scale and they have this figure, Power to Prime's Optimus Prime, and one of the new Siege leaders, if you could weigh them, because this figure right here, this Optimus Prime, it feels way better and heavier than the Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus, and the joints are way tighter. So this still is good as a good leader class, and he is huge.
The Nemesis, the Amazon, I think it was an Amazon exclusive Nemesis Prime of that has been my biggest regret not picking that up. I watched it forever and it went down to like $42 at one point, and I was like, I'm not going to order it yet. And then now it's like out of stock, and now it's all secondhand Amazon sellers, for like $80-$90.
It all fluttered away.
I really wanted that, but I think I was like broke at the time it was released.
Yeah, the timing just never worked out for me.
Yeah, and now I completely forgot about it when I did come into some money.
Everything always hits at once too, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Seems to be the way. You'll have a drought for months, and then all of a sudden, every damn thing you want. And even during the drought, you go and pick up some stuff here and there just to have some stuff because we're collectors and we can't not pick up stuff.
Yeah.
And then when the stuff actually hits, you're like, but I spent all my money.
Exactly.
So, all right. So I think that's, I don't know. I think Joe's way of looking at it's probably the best. While he scales the Megatron kind of is how it is. We all can pretty much agree that it's a damn fine looking Shockwave. That I will probably end up picking up. Maybe, like I said, hopefully on a discount.
Plus, I can justify it because I ordered that in the Starscream Soundwave set from Chosen Prime, and I had Chosen Prime points, so I applied my Chosen Prime points to that order, so I can apply that discount to Shockwave if I want and say I paid $30, which what I should have paid, so I can justify it.
It's called Crabonomics right there.
No,
that's right.
Did y'all see? They finally have a name for the Elita 1 Combiner.
Educate me, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Why is there an Elita 1 Combiner?
She was in Power to Primes, and everybody was a Combiner except technically the leader classes are sort of Combiners, but she never had a name, but you could combine her with the two fembots that came out in that line. But now they're going to release two more, and they haven't given out the name for the fifth member, but they gave the name of the combined mode, which is Orthia, which I don't know where Orthia. I don't know what that means.
Is that like goddess related? That sounds like, I don't know.
I'm
probably going to talk out my ass and make a stupid comment, but it sounds
like Athena.
Yeah, something, I don't know. I'm totally uneducated when it comes to that, so I'm just making
Orthia
sure.
is a goddess.
Yes!
Greek
goddess, right? Is it Greek?
Yeah, I guess I don't know, something to do with Artemis, and Orthia was a local goddess, worship, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, Teletran Jove for the win.
Something about fertility, childbirth, and vegetation.
All right. It's like Sherlock Holmes.
So she's like the Mother Nature.
There you go. They're
I knew that
officially
name rang a
elected
bell.
today.
Okay. I know things I didn't know I knew. So there's that. That was just today, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who does she combine with? What's it? Chromia?
Technically, she can combine with everybody. That's a Combiner Wars type person, but it's gonna be Moon Racer, Nova Star, the green one. I forget what her name is. She's not released yet, but she looks just like Nova Star and Moon Racer. So I'm guessing the fifth member is gonna look just like them as well, or else their body won't be cohesive.
Green light.
Green light.
Mm.
I even said part of her name. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen
Not
the.
Green Lantern.
Have y'all seen the upgrade kit that made her? You could use Moonracer and Nova Star as legs, but she had like some already built-in arms that were like kind of small.
She had like spindly little like T-Rex. Like
Not they look good for the
okay.
combined mode body, but they're not as bulky as Moonracer and Nova Star. But I'm betting when they release the last two members, that the combined mode will still look like that without even having to buy that upgrade kit. So I feel bad for the people that actually did buy the upgrade kit.
Well, who would have thought they'd have circled back and completed, made up the scrap? So
I didn't. I could tell they Power to Primes was the smallest line they ever released in recent memory to me. Combined Wars seemed like that went on for 2 years, and Titans Returns felt like that just ended. But Power to Prime seemed like one wave, and boom, it was over. That's what it felt like to me.
yeah, because then everybody spent all their time. It's like the Wave 2 Dinobots. Everybody spent all that time trying to find them because they came out for like a week and then disappeared for months.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden showed back up again. That made it seem longer than it was too. It was like that was weird.
What was that?
I don't know. I thought I lost power here for a second, but like this side of the house went dark for a second, and then
Well, that's what happens when you start shit talking on Hasbro. They're shutting you down, bro.
That could be. Oh, anyway, that was weird. Back to where we were. Speaking of shit talking Hasbro, good segue, Joe.
Hey.
We'll talk a little bit about this. I don't think this is much of a story, but we'll mention it because people are talking about it. Is that in China, apparently Hasbro has won a ruling against counterfeiters and deemed it illegal to have the counterfeit KO figures, like making them illegal, as we all kind of thought they were. People are making a big deal about this ruling, but I don't think a ruling is one thing, everybody, but enforcing it is something totally different. So
yeah.
I don't know, because I saw a lot of people I don't say a lot. I saw a couple people saying this was the end of third party and the end of Wei Zhang and all this and that. I don't think any of that's going to change.
No. Just to compare it to Gundam, there was a story years and years ago. You'd have to go back, probably Google it. There was the same thing, they were going to crack down on Gundam, like actual KO Gundam manufacturers who were actually and when you say KO, I mean duplicating the box art, the company's name, everything, the trademark logos, everything was being counterfeited. And it feels like it took forever. It probably maybe really wasn't that long, but it was years until they actually started to crack down on it. And now you're starting to see stories about they raided a warehouse and they shut some, whatever and his cousin down because they were, knocking off Gundams. But I think too, I don't think it's third party that's necessarily the target here. I think it's a true KO.
One-to-one knockoffs, yeah.
Yeah, the one-to-one knockoffs.
The ones that are intending to deceive, I think, really is what it is. That's really the difference here, I think, too, is that third party is not is like it's the age old discussion about an artist making money off their version of Batman as opposed to like tracing a comic book cover and selling that as their own. You know, I think
illegal anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's the ones that are that are on eBay, right? And y'all have been on eBay trying to find cheap versions of Figure Arts or Figma. Like those $15 or $20 ones on there that sound like an awesome deal or awesome because they're trying to deceive you with the package being exactly the same. Those are the problem ones. I mean, I don't know. Like if I go on there and I want to get a knockoff of something, so be it. But
yeah, there's different levels of like a KO. There's the KO that is replicating everything from the company's name, the box art, everything. Like just literally, even the trademark symbols, everything's copied. And then there's the KOs that are like Takasa Tony. They're it looks the same, but if you look there, oh, that's a little bit different, and you can kind of spot the difference. And usually, when you buy those, you're buying a knockoff.
Right.
I appreciate
and
that.
A lot of times people want to look for those and buy those knockoffs. Then you have the ones like the Wei Zhang, like MPP10, who, it's a knockoff of the mold, but it's not packaged in a way to deceive you. That you don't think you're buying MP10. It has different sculpting than MP10, and it has slightly different materials than MP10. So it's not like a true knockoff, but they're all technically knockoffs.
Like they had that one, I don't know, I don't remember the company or anything, but they had that evasion mode prime that somebody upscaled that improved the shit out of that thing and made all these extra articulation I
think that was Wei Zhang that did that too, wasn't
it? It may have been. I'm sure someone will know.
Is that Takasa Tony?
Yeah, Takasa Tony.
There he is.
But it perfectly replicates the packaging, though. So if you're not paying attention, they changed other things, like it says C right here.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all can see that.
But it doesn't have, like, if you look, it doesn't have anything trademarked on it, does it?
Not really. Yeah, it doesn't have, like, the Lamborghini stuff down here. All that's
right.
Yeah.
That's kind of on. I feel like those are kind of on you.
This is one of the worst KO experiences I ever had.
Oh, really? I've actually heard a lot of good things about the Takasa.
The Lamborghini KOs were bad.
Yeah. Watch my review. I threatened to set it on fire.
Yeah, the Lamborghini knockoffs were notoriously bad. Most of the other ones I've heard were good.
I've actually thought about the KO Ratchet and Ironhide because like I've been trying to
I reviewed, he was horrible too.
Was he?
Yeah. It was almost, but it's like, I can't spend no money on this and not be completely satisfied. A lot of stuff was fused together, like, you know how the bumper comes out to become the heel? That was like fused into place. I think I could barely, that silver thing on his gut, that was like fused into place. I was like, there's no way, since I was reviewing it and sending it back, I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to transform this without putting scuffs and dents into it.
So, buyer beware, as with everything else, though, right?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Baldwin says he wants to rub my head, so hold on while I just give him an opportunity here. Go ahead.
I found these.
There's a lot going on right now.
I found these Walgreens exclusives at
Wait a minute. He didn't say which head, so let me just make sure he's covered.
No.
Cut the feed. Oh, it's me.
Well, knowing Baldwin, he probably meant the other one that we don't see.
The other one.
Sicko.
What else we got?
Let me see. I thought he was going to talk a little bit more about the Magics, but he just dropped that like a bad habit.
He was just showing off.
Once we got on the heads. But people have found these already. But I couldn't believe I found these in Rite Aid for half off. So I was like,
Oh, Walgreens.
yes.
Yeah. What? Well, how come Walgreens stuff shows up at Rite Aid? But I saw a bunch of them at Walgreens on clearance.
Rite Aid, I mean, Walgreens bought Rite Aid.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to decide if Rite Aid is like right across the street from a Walgreens. They're supposed to be closing those Rite Aids because they're like almost competing with each other and they're the same store. And then some of them they're deciding on whether they're going to completely change them from Rite Aid to Walgreens. From what I heard, anyway.
So they just literally walk the stuff across the street and say, "Here you go, put this on your clearance stuff."
Yeah, the first one I noticed when I went inside and I saw a Walgreens sticker on the outside of the door, and I was like, "What the hell?" Then I went to the pharmacy and I saw Walgreens, and they told me that that they're transitioning. But then a couple weeks later, this whole store was just closed down because it was a Walgreens right around the corner downtown. But you seen these? You said you saw these in Walgreens?
I seen when I went into Walgreens when I was when I bought those Dragon Stars.
Oh.
They probably had a dozen of them.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of that, but I've never seen her in Walgreens, and I've yet to see the thing either. I was hoping if I found the thing in Walgreens for $10, I would buy that too.
Yeah, I would pick one of those up for that price. Everybody keeps going. It's like he's been named Figure of the Year for a bunch of like Marvel Legends lists. I'm trying to think. I
need to make my list.
I think Toy Galaxy had him on their list. Foosh maybe would have had him. I can't remember. I know he's come up a bunch as Figure of the Year.
Weight-wise, he is worth more than any Marvel Legends like in a long time. Like this thing is over a pound. This magic feels like there's nothing in this box. She has like at least 11 accessories in here and herself, but it feels like air is in this box compared to him.
Isn't that weird though? It's the same company
Mm-hmm.
that makes Transformers, and they have these rules. They have these guys like here's the class, and we can have this much parts count, this much engineering, and this much plastic, and it's got to be in that price point. And then these guys here, you can have way different. Like you can have a nothing for $20, or you can get a pound huge, thing for $20.
Yeah, and he comes with an extra head and an extra set of hands, and he's completely 100% painted. Like all the details in the rocks are like, I don't even know how they did this. Did somebody come in there and hand paint all of these? And the faces, even though he doesn't have a human face, it still looked like it might be digital paint on the eyes and whatnot. So it's like they did go the extra mile for this. So I don't know whether he's going to be my number one or not.
Like you said, then why make a full list when stuff was still coming up coming out right up into the end of the year?
Yeah.
Let me see. I don't know a whole lot about this. It's on the list, so if you guys have anything you can add to it. That Spin Master's set to take on the DC license because Mattel lost it, and what that's going to mean for Mattel and the DC license as a whole. I have not collected any DC figures for a long time, so I will leave this one to you guys if you have anything to say about it.
Well, we all want better DC. Well, the people that like DC want better DC figures. But I don't know. I'm in the camp that this whole Spin Master thing does not mean the DC action figures, the multiverse and the classics and all that. When you looked at that story, I think it said like they lost the license for like the boys whatever remote control cars and blah 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 blah. Like all the other little. They didn't specifically say action figures.
For some, I'm going to have to read it again, but for something in there, the way they worded it made it sound like they definitely lost the action figures.
Yeah, I'm going to...
Because it's when it said boys'
tonight's
toys...
episode is sponsored by Google, I'm going to Google this.
I was gonna say I'm gonna put it up here and see what we got.
Yeah, it sounds like they meant all boys' toys, from what I was reading. Whoever posted that put the link.
We'll let Joe.
Blah, 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 blah. All right, here's their wording exactly. Spin Master will be the new toy licensee for DC in the boys action category, remote control and robotic vehicles, water toys, games, and puzzles.
Yeah, when it says boys action, that makes me think as a whole, that's pretty much almost everything.
It does, but then they specifically say remote control vehicles, games, and puzzles.
Is there a comma after boys action?
Boys action category, comma, remote control robotic vehicles, comma, water toys, games, and puzzles.
And this article here says the company will keep portions of the license for preschool and girls' toys, but will lose the right to action figures, which will mean an end to the DC Multiverse line.
Oh, where does it say that?
I am at the highly reputable BatmanNews.com.
If Batman says so, then it's true.
I think so.
Knows everything.
The little logo at the top is a very scowling looking Batman. So I think it's right.
I'm Batman.
You know what?
The internet says so.
The key to keeping me on here is only having 3 people on the show.
You haven't dropped out since we started. You dropped out before we started.
Does your ISP get intimidated? It felt like it gets overwhelmed and has to bow out every so often?
It must. And now that I mentioned something, let me knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on your wooden modem.
Feed the hamster a little bit at least.
You know, the problem probably is that the modem's not in this room with me.
See, I'm going to skip that story for now. Let's talk a little, let's go for, we have a line on here that just says hopes for 2019. What does that mean to you? What are you looking forward to? What's the thing that you're hoping for or things? Speak a bit.
I'm hoping that I have the money when some of these pre-orders hit me. Like, the Beast Megatron and Mezco, if they ever freaking get released. The one time I pre-ordered Mezco figures, they get delayed. Meanwhile, Popeye gets announced and is released, and it felt like 2 weeks later.
I was under the impression 99% of Mezco gets delayed.
Yeah, this guy here, I had him on my pre-order list, and I had him marked down. I think it was originally October, and he shipped the very last week, or maybe the second to last week of December. I've been looking forward to the Mezco Dark Side, that Polystone figure, and I think it was November. Now they're saying January. There's no chance I think they'll ship in January. So that'll be one of my hopes of 2019, that Mezco Dark Side actually ships in 2019. But you know what the big thing for me would be?
That'll do it for you?
No, My Hero. I want an announcement. Right. Yeah, I want an announcement that Figma is restarting the My Hero line, and we're going to get an All Might. We're going to get a Midoriya re-release. There he goes.
Ah, son of a bitch.
See, we did jinx it, but it was delayed.
We know we're getting a Midoriya re-release, right? And didn't we see a reveal of a Bakugo figure?
And I think they teased an outline. I think we've seen an outline of a potential All Might, and that people have been saying that they're gonna I keep saying, don't buy that KO for $15 because they're gonna re-release the figure. Well, they've been saying that for 2 years now, and when is it going to come out?
I got the KO, and I'm happy with the KO.
Yeah, me too. I mean, go ahead and spend your $15 on the KO if you want to, but I'm hoping that they make some kind of progress there, because this is like, and then what when did you say that they were going to come back out with the next season?
October.
It's crazy. I don't understand. The first 2 or 3 seasons of this show have been like a global hit phenomenon. And anything you go to Hot Topic, you go to any of these stores, and anything, you'll see My Hero little freaking keychains and stickers and all kinds of crap, beanies, socks.
The movie made a boat ton of money.
And it's like they're sitting on a big, huge stack of cash, and they can't decide what they want to do, or they can't. I don't know. Just do it. I would actually love like a retail. I would love like if they came out with like a Dragon Stars-ish, Marvel Legends-ish line for My Hero, or even any of these other animes, like One Punch Man. I would love that. I'd eat that shit up.
I'll wait for the reissues. I remember I started watching the show with my son. He was over here more often before he started working. He was forcing me to watch a whole bunch of different animes. So I was like, Darren, I would like a figure for him, for Midoriya. And I looked it up, and it was like $250. I was like, oh, well, never mind. He doesn't exist.
Yeah. And that's probably even the regular edition. It's not even the special edition that comes with his hood mask that hangs on his back. It's like add another $100 for that.
Please.
But you're right. It's the show is like runaway popularity, and no one's really capitalizing on it. So I know Figma's listening because I know him like that. Guys, go ahead and get on that.
Oh yeah. You know what I want? Now that we're talking about this, like things that haven't been made, where the hell is Figma Breath of the Wild Link? That game has been out for over a year.
It is sitting on someone's like sketch pad in a CAD model or something that's just waiting to be. I don't know.
Well, they've done 3 links? Maybe they're linked out.
3 or 4.
Yeah, it was the Skyward Sword Link, A Link Between Worlds, and Twilight Princess. But Twilight Princess was over 10 years later.
Yeah. So do they have 2 small links, or is the Link Between Worlds one the only smaller one that they've got?
Yeah, that's the only small one.
But they have a deluxe version.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Okay.
And they had a deluxe Twilight and a regular Twilight. I've been waiting for the deluxe Twilight Princess one to drop, and that has not dropped. But the reason why I was waiting was because the deluxe A Link Between Worlds, I was able to buy that for
That one's on. You can get that one on Big Bad, $65.
Well, I got it on Amazon for $25.
Yeah, Amazon's usually right around 30.
No, the deluxe, the Twilight Princess deluxe, that's out.
Oh.
No, I know it's out. I was waiting for the price to drop.
In price. Not drop as in release. He means
not drop.
Okay.
Drop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot. He never pays full price for anything.
I try not to.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think I've been giving it some thought, and I think for 2019, I might be out of collecting Chug Transformers, which is kind of a big deal for me because that's how I really started, was with the MMC Chugs, their reformatted stuff. So unless something comes out reformatted that really grabs me, I don't think I'm going to get any more of those. But I say that having also now segueing into saying almost all Chugs make toys cross dimension. They need to keep coming out with crap. Like I will keep buying those because those things, I love them.
Yeah.
So much so that, again, like we said, I'm a cheap ass. Whoever watches this show more than one episode will know that because I say it all the goddamn time. I will be buying my 3rd version of Stryker Manus when they come up with that premium color because I am keeping it. I am going to get it.
I was just getting ready to ask you that.
I was going to blame your wife if you were getting out of the Chug game because she gave you the permission to start buying Masterpiece.
Well, she did give me permission by not saying no when I didn't ask her. So that's kind of where we're at. I am starting Masterpiece stuff a little here and there. I'm not a completionist, so I'm not under any guise. I'm going to be getting all of them. But I don't know. Between Dragon Ball, some Masterpiece, and these and Legends, like, is crazy now. Like Legends, if you're not in the Legends game, you're saving money because it's coming at you from all directions now.
Yeah, I'm not a completionist. I want a few more of the Autobots. Like
well, you're like me. Your collection dabbles in everything. Like you.
Yeah, I kind of did a little bit of everything. I do want a set of Seekers. I said I wanted to avoid a set of Masterpiece sized Seekers just because of space savings. But I think I do want. I like those Make Toys. The Make Toys set. I think I want to get them.
And now, if you buy them, you get the wing fillers.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another controversy. Speaking of controversies, I'm not going to buy the cone heads, but why all the hate over the wing fillers? I don't know. I don't get that at all.
They felt like they should have been like that in the first place.
So the original design specs for them, I guess, either the CAD or the prototypes had wing fillers in it. Then the original then the releases didn't have it. They just left it out. And then I guess there was that third party or fourth party printing kit, 3D printed kit that came out that worked really well. And now Make Toys is like, hey, we've decided to go ahead and do this for you, but if you buy our other Seekers, you get them for free, or you can pay us $10 more and we'll send you out the fillers for shit that people felt like that should have been included in the first place. That's where the anger.
Shouldn't we be used to this by now? Like, whenever we see a new video game, it gets downgraded. Whenever we see, any like early picture of a prototype, it never matches. They always make it look better than what it's really going to be. When you go to the drive-thru and you order a Big Mac, you're not getting what you see in the picture. So I think we all are kind of conditioned to be disappointed. So I don't know. I just didn't understand the hate with that. And if you really want those things that you'll never see, because you don't really I don't know about you guys, but when I display my stuff, you can notice no one is turned around backwards. Everyone's facing the front. You can't see any of their backs. So I'm not going to spend the money to fill in part of the back that you'll never see.
With toy collectors, I didn't know what Parks Woman just said, that they originally showed them with the fillers. I never knew they ever had the fillers. So you can't show Transformers collectors fillers and then not come out with the fillers.
Let me see it. Yeah, I'll see if I can back that up with my claim with a picture.
Like, I did think that was kind of weird I was like, no, they are just selling them for $120 instead of $160 that they probably could have got away with. So I just figured they had to make it cheaper by not having the wings filled out. And the fillers might weigh the wings down, so they'll keep falling back.
Speaking of these prices, how do these third parties keep the prices where they're at?
I think they're probably being nice.
That doesn't sound right.
No.
No one's nice just to be nice.
If they were to announce, if Takara was going to say, okay, we're going to redo the Seeker mold, we're going to update it, and you're going to get Starscream 2.0, what would his price point be?
$250.
I don't know why I brought this up on my phone, but because I can't really show it that well. But if you can see that, there's the original prototype with the wings filled in.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
So there you go with that.
He said the thing.
I said the thing. I did. It was intentional. But it is what it is. So yeah, like you said, you should be used to that by now. That doesn't mean you have to like it, but it is a thing that's going to happen. And the version 2s of figures are going to come out and be released that are going to be better than version 1s. It's going to fix all the problems that you bitched about, or none of the problems that you bitched about. Hello, Ollie, who's now on version 3 or 4 by now. So hooray to all the people that bought Ollie version 1, that kind of just spent the money and now have to watch all these other versions come out. But it is what it is. 2019, yeah, crap ton of stuff coming out, and hopefully it's spaced out enough so we don't all get slammed at the same time for everything. But that's not how it works.
I have a feeling those Conehead Seekers are going to come out all at once instead of being staggered.
You think they'll just drop?
All three of them. Which I kind of hope they don't do, but then I would want all of them. But my wallet ain't working like that.
So let me ask you this. So for completionist's sake, like I could see you having to get all 3 Coneheads, right? But it's almost like the Praetorian Guard syndrome from Last Jedi, where like like some came out every month, but by the time you got to the last one, you were so sick of seeing the same thing over and over again, like SH Figure Arts Praetorian Guards. I think Bobby had a whole thing about it. And I realize that the Coneheads are all different enough, but do you feel like if you got it staggered enough, by the time the 3rd one came out, you're kind of like, hey, here's another of the same? Like you'd be more excited about all of them if they all dropped at once, you know?
You know, I probably would be more excited if they dropped it once, because when Dirge came out from Takara Tomy, I had Thrust and Ramjet, and I was like, meh. And then I sold Thrust and Ramjet.
I think the best thing that they could do would stagger them, but only by like 2 weeks to a month.
Yeah.
Give a 2-week paycheck, to show up and then release the next one.
And make the last one Dirge again, which they'll probably make him first, and then you gotta wait for Ramjet and Thrust. Now that if anybody that works there hear me talking, that's what they'll do. Because I've never owned. I think I do own Dirge as a classic Seeker, but I've never owned the original Dirge or any type of Masterpiece Dirge. He was the least popular.
He's just got a sad name. Mm-hmm. Let's go back and see the discussion list. Anything else we have to talk? Oh, Joe, take us away with the SH Monster Arts.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So a little bit ago, we saw some pictures of the SH Monster Arts, Godzilla King of the Monsters. We saw Rodan, we saw Mothra, we saw King Ghidorah, we saw Godzilla. Well, the pre-orders are now going up. I think they are going up sometime next week. And we got price points set up. And we know that the first 2 are going to be Godzilla. He's going to be $65 to $70 US. These prices were in yen, and so it's going to fluctuate a little bit. So I translated them. King Ghidorah is going to be... everyone at first thought King Ghidorah was going to be $200. He's actually going to be $165 to $175. Your U.S. release will probably be $175. I think you'll probably be able to pick them up a little bit cheaper if you get like Amazon Japan or something like that. But he is massive. He has a 23.5-inch wingspan. And I don't know if you can pull up the pictures on the link that I put up on there, but the thing is just like he's going to take up an entire Billy shelf by himself. And the pictures that I've seen of these guys, like if anybody's into the Monster Arts line or any of the Godzilla figures, the thing just looks amazing. And the original King Ghidorah is one of my grail items. If I could find a Monster Arts King Ghidorah, the first release, for a reasonable, I'd probably pay $200 for the thing. But they're like $400. I'm not going. That's crazy. So this one I'll definitely get, and if I would definitely pick up the original if I could find it for a similar price. Yeah, that's it. I don't know if you want to look up that link and try to pull up the pictures, but the thing is just absolutely massive. It comes with a flight stand. Supposedly, in certain positions, his wings are so freaking huge that I guess they included a stand, so he's going to need a little bit of help to stay upright. But it also comes with a flight stand, so you can actually have him, horizontal flying. I don't know how you'd have the space to do that because you wouldn't fit depth-wise on my Billies. Billies are only like 10.5 inches deep. So for me, I think he's just going to stand there and like I'm going to have to completely rearrange everything because all those Godzillas are no longer going to fit. They're all going to have to. Maybe all the Godzillas will surround Six Shot because like Six Shot, I have him down here all by himself because I don't have anything really related to Six Shot to display with. So maybe all the Godzillas will just go down and they'll kind of crowd around Six Shot, and then Ghidorah will just take up that entire section of the Billy shelf.
So he's like what I like to call a display breaker. You have this nice display set up, and you get this thing that totally F's everything that you had set up.
Yeah. There's more. I'll have to make a trip to IKEA and get some more shelves.
Nate Simmons said on Chosen Prime that the cone heads are staggered by a month a piece.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That sounds right. Because it's close enough to where, like you said, you're not going to be like, if they're 2-3 months apart, they're like, oh, it's too long of a wait. Do I really want to get the rest of them? And you're kind of tired of seeing it. If you put them 2 weeks to a month, then you're going to commit to those pre-orders. You're not going to cancel those pre-orders like a certain parts former likes to do.
Now, for me, the cone heads are like what he was saying. They're so different enough, and they are beloved characters. And if you're a completionist, you're going to want all of them anyway. So they don't have to release both of them like they did Thundercracker and Skywarp at the same time, at least.
Yeah, but the longer they put in between releases, the more opportunity for life to kick in the nuts.
Yeah, like
and even
Car announces their new one.
Even if you are a completionist, something come up and be like, damn, I can't get that.
That's true too. That's a good point. Is that everyone has to know by now that Takara's got to be working on a version 2 Seeker. I mean, that's got to be, or a version 3, I guess technically.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be happening, right? I mean, they're redoing, they're circling back now on the popular characters. I'm convinced we're going to see a version 3 Seeker and a version 2 Grimlock. It's got to happen. I just think
they're going to show Starscream, and he's going to be the most amazing thing ever, and I'm going to be pissed. Like, because the Make Toys ones, they're not 100% perfect, to be honest. With like the little cone thing hanging off the back that falls off easily.
The little C-clip.
Yeah, and the head doesn't look up, and the way the ab crunch articulates with the 2 folding out joints is kind of weird.
But the contrast to that is, what do you pay for a Make Toy Seeker right now? 110?
120.
Yeah.
What do you think a version 3 Takara Hasbro Seeker is going to be with the price points moving the way they're going? I'd say 2 or 250.
Yeah, 250, 300. If it comes with a rack of accessories, like Starscream's going to be 300 or more, and the rest of the Skywarp and Thundercracker will probably be 300 for the hell of it, and they don't even come with the same accessories.
Right.
And they didn't even do anything special in the show. Maybe was it Skywarp or Thunder? I think it was Thundercracker that held Reflector. So one of them might come with Reflector. But they didn't do anything special.
That would have been cool for a Masterpiece Megatron accessory.
I have the little reflector that came with Fans Toy Spotter. So I did take a picture like that.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
What is it called? The Killing Joke?
Oh, yeah.
Casey Kohler's homage cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something. That would be something. And I'm sure Shapeways has got you covered for that too. I'm sure they have an NP scale reflector.
Well, I don't want to beat a dead horse here because the MP44 horse is not only dead. It's like Glenn from Walking Dead. It's just beat so bad, it's unrecognizable at this point. But this is kind of related to that. It's kind of the same thing. Like we see these, like if you're on the face pages every day, there's more and more comparison pictures of Magic Square, what's it, Light of Freedom or whatever it is, Magic Square, Masterpiece Prime, Transform Element, and the MP44 in various different poses and front, back, side, alt modes, blah blah blah, and it's just constantly throwing in your face. And it's like, every time I see him, it's just like I don't see why. Like, I get it if you're a masterpiece completionist, if you want to get every single masterpiece release, I get it. But like, I look at those pictures and I look at him and I say, okay, the Magic Square kind of checks all those boxes for me. MP10 prices right now are like, I don't have an MP10. I know you have an awesome wife and she got you an MP10. Yeah. I don't have one, so like, Magic Square checks all the boxes. The price, what, 100? I think it's 139 or something like that, maybe 150 in that ballpark. MP44, yeah, it looks good, but honestly, like, I look at those pictures and the Magic Square and it looks better to me. So, and it's a lot cheaper. So,
what's the one that just came out with the transformation yesterday?
That was Transform Element. That scares the shit out of me. Like
that. I like that one way better than the Magic Square.
That one looks more cartoon accurate than the Magic Square. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that transformation scares shit out of me.
I don't know what the price point on that was. But that one actually
you posted that it like explodes apart.
Yeah.
Literally everything on that thing slides, moves, rotates. The hips.
Yeah,
of all things on an Optimus Prime that you would think don't need to do anything, they just kind of collapse into the frame of the truck. The hips on that thing even open up and slide panels and rotate. And, yeah, it's just insane what they did with that.
The wheels are connected to the inside of his crotch. Like, I've never seen that before.
Yeah. And his I don't know the anatomy, but what the hell is the part of your upper leg? Your
thigh.
Your thigh, yeah. The thighs.
Yeah, it folds to the side and slide down.
The thighs all explode. Everything, literally every single part of that thing it completely turns inside out.
Yeah, that was crazy. When I saw that did scare me a little bit. The leg transformation was like, holy crap. The upper body was like, okay, I can learn that. But then when they started showing the legs, I was like, holy moly. Like, I've never seen the thighs, the front part of the thighs rotate, slide down, and then wrap around.
Yeah. And you would think all they need to do is collapse and then maybe have like part of the shins or whatever pop over, form the back of the truck, and it'd be a done deal. No.
Oh, you know what? The problem is the lower leg transforms like Siege Hound, sort of, but way more advanced than Siege Hound.
That thing is just. And I joke all the time and it's not really a joke because it's true. I'm like the world's slowest transformer.
You know what?
That thing would take me for freaking ever.
The legs transform just like Unique Toys Allen, their Springer. It's almost the exact same thing where like the top part of the calf like rotates and then opens up and spins around.
I get it. Part. Like I get, like you say, Unique Toys, Challenger, and what's the other one? Peru Kill. Like I've seen those transformations, and like that has to be actually that one's actually not that bad. But it has to be, they have to have a lot of engineering and a lot of tricks to get that out of the alt mode. But for something like a G1 Prime that doesn't have all those curves and all that stuff, everything's fairly blocky. It doesn't need to be that complicated. And it just seems like they made it complicated just for the sake of how complicated can we make it.
I think that was probably their only way they could think of to get the wheels to switch inside. And come to think of it, this does transform just like Alan down here in the legs, where the legs come out and then it spins around at the knee and all that junk. So that must be a unique toys type thingy.
Yeah.
Life with Brock is saying, T, you seem way more excited than you did the other night. Are you?
I'm
he
not
might be
being
implying that
overwhelmed.
I think maybe he's implying that you're on something. Are you on something? Do you need an intervention?
A little bit. I did lick this this ice cream cone unicorn before we started.
I don't have a response to that, so we'll just let that one hang in the air.
So he's tripping on that Chinese plastic, whatever chemicals are in that thing.
Plastic addict, it's his fault. Blame him. He was the life of the whole show, so we couldn't have two lives in there.
But let me see what else. I think that might be.
Let's talk about displays. This displays discussion has been moved off for like 3 weeks now.
Well, do you want to do that now, or do you want to wait till we get the full crew to add their?
Oh, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I suppose that's why I'm asking out loud.
You guys have your display right there, all nice and neat and organized. Me, if I turned this camera around, you'd have to call hoarders.
Well, I know Zero is planning on getting because he's got a new house, so he's planning on getting all kinds of shelving and billies and detolfs, and I don't, who knows what he's going to get. I know he's going to spend money on displays.
Yeah, that might be an episode by itself.
Dave uses spice racks from Walmart to display his figures, which, hey, it works. I actually thought that was pretty clever, except he didn't take the sticker off. I think it still said, like,
I did see that.
Yeah, great value spice organizer.
He wants people to know that it was a good fucking value. I mean, that's what it is.
It is.
So if we're going to get on the display discussion, I guess I'll real quick. Like, this is, as far as Transformers, I have mostly detolfs. As far as like Transformers display, I think that's it. As to how many figures you're going to be able to have and it still look good, in my opinion. I mean, again, this is just my thoughts. I've got the back two figures raised so you could see them, and I think 4 is the limit. Here's some of the MMC guys that I've got. Where when you start to get more than that, it gets a little ridiculous. Like right now, there's one of my masterpiece. And then like Dragon Ball stuff's different because they all can be in there doing their little thing and having their own little scene. But as far as displays go right now, I'm going to say that like I'm not into spending a whole lot of money on my display. I'm thinking if I complete a collection or get to a point where I'm kind of just happy with what I've got, that's the time to really kind of cement. Because you don't want to spend a whole lot of money on display furniture and then have your collection change and then not work anymore or have to expand it or have to change it. I'd rather get cemented in with what I've got, complete something and say, I want this displayed a certain way and I'm probably not going to get anything else anymore. Set it up perfectly, spend that money on the display and be happy with it. Where my collection is constantly evolving and changing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. If you spend too much, like I've actually been tempted by, I don't know if you've seen those, I can't remember what they're called, but they're like modular glass, like different size cubes, and you can get them. Actually, you can custom sizes, but I think they have like 2 or 3 different configurations, and you can stack them up on top of each other, different length and width wise, and each one has integrated lighting, glass fronts, very well constructed. They're a lot of money though, but when you compare it to a detolf, like if you have a detolf, with the height and the width, I run into the fact that like I have my DBZ stuff in my detolfs right now. I'm probably like 6 months to a year away from being completely maxed out. At the rate that they're releasing figures, I'm gonna have to do something to change my displays because it's gonna be way too crowded. like, yeah, you can fit more than you can masterpiece size Transformers, but I'm going to run out of space here. So I've looked at these things, and they're bigger. They're a little bit bigger. I think they would fit in between my billy shelves, but when you add up the cost, you're going to spend $1,000 to upgrade your display. That is, I mean, that's a big bite into the budget. So I don't know. I mean, it's like my options for where I'm at right now and the room I'm in right now. It's not actually. You know what? I'll do a little thing because I don't think everybody's always seen that wall, but not everything else.
While you're doing that, everybody say hi to Plastic Addict.
Hi, Plastic Addict.
Hi, Plastic Addict. We acknowledge you. You are
you are
a
valued. You're a valued member of the chat.
Yes.
So everyone always sees this wall here. I mean, I can't really do much with that. It's wall to wall, Billy shelf and Detolf. I have space for another, floating shelf up here, and that's really about it. Like this is a really small room that I'm in. I can go close to the ceiling, but
is that a bunch of rockets, or are you happy to see us?
That is a bunch of rockets. No one ever gets to see these. So, but yeah, I mean, I all I can do is put maybe 2 shelves between this one here and the ceiling. That's it. Like, I can't put another Billy in. I can't put another Detolf in. Like, I got to kick one of the kids out, or I got to say, guess what? You're moving in with your brother, and I'm taking over your room.
I need to go to Joe's house because you have all that stuff like out in the open, so I can just grab it. I don't have to open any doors.
Notice he didn't say put it back.
He didn't say put it back.
I did.
He's not even going to fight it. He's like, yeah.
No, you had your chance when you were at Kevin's house.
Oh. He has stuff still in the package.
Those old,
they're gone.
Those TV shows, I think they were like British television, where they'd have the person get the shopping cart and go through the grocery store and just put as much shit in the cart as possible in 60 seconds, and they'd get everything for free. You could probably do that at Kevin's house, and he would never even notice that anything was missing.
Dude lost an entire inbox Castle Grayskull. An entire castle he lost.
Yes. And that thing's 4 feet tall.
Right.
No, well, the last time I was there, he's in the middle of rearranging because of the stuff that was going on in his basement. He had bags full of SH figure arts. I could have just grabbed the whole bag at once.
Probably not the best idea considering, but
Yeah.
Yeah, considering his profession, it's probably not a good idea.
And he knows where I live at, so.
Are you in his jurisdiction then? That's the thing.
No, I think I'm technically out of it.
There you go. You're good.
But
Plastic Addict, I'll do a what do you call it? A collection walkthrough one of these days. I really don't feel like moving around and showing you the rest.
Yeah,
of it.
we've been talking about that. We ought to do that.
We do. We talk about a lot of things.
I think
we should make a B-side out of that. How about that?
Yeah, no such thing.
When you got triggered and left, Parts Former was showing us his collection, but you left, so you miss out.
Oh, did he leave? Oh, well, he's dead to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see.
Life with Brock wants to know what the Transformer with the drill is. I think he's talking about your Megatron, your MMC Megatron.
Oh.
Or no, maybe he's not talking about Megatron.
Hey, I'm always looking behind you guys. That's a little
What's
creepy.
The Transformer with the drill? Play us. He always says play us.
That one?
Him? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's MMC's Tyrantron, their Megatron, their MMC, their IDW version Megatron that I have, for whatever reason, in his minor configuration, and I never felt like putting it back. So
he says no, lower Detolf. I think that is your lower Detolf.
That is. It's the bottom shelf.
Yeah,
he said that was it. That was it.
Yeah,
okay.
I was looking at the Iron Factory Red Alert. I don't think you ever brought that to the meetup.
I don't think so. He's exactly the same as your Jazz, except the chest piece and the shoulders. but he transforms the same way. But I can bring it. Just remind me.
All right.
You're not gonna remember.
I need to just buy it.
I was a little disappointed with that Jazz's shoulders. If you move it just the right way, it just pops right off that ball peg. See, he agrees with me. He's speechless.
He popped right off his ball peg. He was so upset by your comment. What the good thing about that Jazz is it's got the shoulder articulation at the top, that it's got the gimmick with the speakers that swivel out, so that gives you some extra clearance.
Yes.
The other guys, the Lambos, the mold that it's based off of, Sideswipe and Red Alert, don't have that, so you pretty much only get partial articulation.
Is it the same with that little janky peg, ball peg? Is that what it is?
No, wait a minute. Let me see if I can open this without everything crashing.
I haven't popped his arm off. That's what I was saying to myself because I didn't realize I disappeared.
Oh, okay. You haven't done that yet?
I mean, it's...
Yeah, that's what I was scared of with Jazz.
Rip his arm off so I can see that shoulder joint.
There it is. As best as I can show you.
Yeah, it's the same. It's that angled. Yep.
It's like it's like a little L-shaped bracket that it's got a ball post at the end.
No, Joe is just too rough.
But it's that, you know what though?
It's
that kind of fake but real ab crunch that really makes it good. It's definitely an ab crunch. It's just not meant for. I mean, I don't know if it was intended that way, but it works that way.
I don't mind a fake ab crunch. I wish I had a fake ab crunch.
Yeah, I don't have ab crunch either. I'm one of those collectors that complain about ab crunch, but that
don't have an ab crunch. That did make me chuckle when I saw that. So that's quick thoughts on displaying. You guys have anything else to say that you can add?
No.
Dead Air makes Plastic Addict laugh, so he's probably enjoying himself right now.
I think his favorite Dead Air is that Dead Air when we say something and we expect T-Man to chime in.
And he's playing with a toy. or drops out.
Or just drops out altogether, yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that you guys have anything else to add? Because we might as well call it there. That's no sense in making everybody stay longer than they have to.
Yeah, I'm having bad luck. So
I'm surprised that we made it an hour and a half with 3 people. That's amazing.
Pretty much.
And we're and the 3 people that are here are the ones that are always like, let's make the show shorter, an hour, please. I want to go to bed. I'm old.
Now, is that you saying that, or is that Batfleck saying that? Batfleck.
You know what? Actually, you know what? You say that Batfleck. Mezco put more thought and love and attention into this guy than Ben Affleck did his entire role in the Justice League movie.
Why are you gonna shit on Ben Affleck? I like that. I liked him.
I like him as a Batman, but he really didn't give a fuck about when he did that movie. I think he just showed up. He just said, show me where to stand, and I'll do it.
For Justice League?
For Justice League, yeah.
Yeah, he was better in Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
I was excited for a Batman movie.
I thought he was... I enjoyed him as Batman. I didn't have any complaints.
I did enjoy him as Batman. Who knows what we'll get as Batman? Because they are still moving forward with a new Batman series. So
yep.
I think,
and the Joker movie's set to come out too. The Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie.
Isn't that weird? I don't know.
It is weird, but it could work.
They're jinxed with Batmans. Like Christian Bale, they got lucky. They got all 3 movies done with the same actor.
Yeah, but what about Michael Keaton? I mean, I call his 2 movies all the good ones from that era. So like I'd say that counts.
What do you call
There you go.
If it's only 2 movies, it's not a trilogy.
No, it's just 2. It's a what do you call it? I don't know. We're all stupid. Okay, it's 10:30 at night. And we're old. Someone's bitching in the comments like y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about.
We're used and that to is true. We're used to using Google to know everything.
Yeah. Star Wars was a trilogy,
Plastic
and Rocky
Plastic
used to
Addict
be
wants to know if there's
quintulogy.
a gap. So there is no gap unless you look all the way down. Then there's a little bit of a gap.
And I would say everybody's probably got that gap in the back of your own head, but you can't see it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Who can ever see the back of their own head?
Right. And you don't display yourself backwards. So,
Yeah,
I have an idea, and see what you guys think about this. We were talking before. We all saw Bumblebee together, and we were all thinking about doing a B-side about it. And we thought so hard about doing a B-side that we all like ate dinner, went to bed, and got up the next day, went to work, ate dinner, went to bed, and it never actually happened. Do you guys want to talk for a few minutes about Bumblebee?
Might as well.
I think
we can end the episode with a little Bumblebee talk.
We could look at Joe's neck flap.
Yeah, well, let's see if you got that gap too, Joe. Bend your head forward. Yeah, there it is. See, so
you might be able to see the barcode with my data manufacturer.
You look very Saitama from that angle.
Plastic said that's what he came here for, to talk about Bumblebee.
That's what he said. What?
He came here so we can talk about Bumblebee.
Oh,
so okay, I might have an interesting opinion on Bumblebee. I loved it. Like I think we all loved it.
Wait a minute, hold on. Before you start, let me say, we're gonna talk about Bumblebee for a few minutes. I'm gonna say full spoilers, right?
Yes,
full spoilers?
Absolutely. At this point, it's been what, 3 weeks?
Yeah. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers right now, thank you for joining us. We're gonna end the show after we talk about Bumblebee a little bit. Thanks for coming out. We'll be on next Thursday. Yada yada yada. That's Joe. That's T-Man. I'm Bart's former. So now, if you stuck with us, we're gonna go into the spoiler-filled reaction to Bumblebee. So if you're still here, 3, 2, 1, spoilers.
All right, everyone dies. No, I love the movie, but after having like a couple weeks to kind of digest it, I think it was a great way to show what a Transformers picture can be, a live action Transformers film can be. But I don't necessarily want a sequel. I don't want them to continue. I think they need more separation from the whole Bayverse. Because if you think about it, you can tell in hindsight, you can tell they were and you can listen to these interviews with Travis Knight. They were really held back by, we can do this, we can't do that because we have to be kind of maybe connected because we can't show Megatron because Megatron was supposed to be frozen in ice, and so we can't, that didn't make it. But yet they did all these other things to completely throw the whole continuity out anyway.
Yeah.
So I think he was kind of like testing the waters of what he could get away with and what he couldn't. And I think the people that were making those decisions were like, they knew, okay, yeah, you can't do that with Megatron, but okay, yeah, you can have Optimus Prime, be armor. It's maybe he showed up to pat Bumblebee on the back and then took off and went somewhere else and then came back later. Who knows? Maybe it could work. But I think what they should do is, chill 2 or 3 years and just kind of come back with a complete actual reboot. Give us, I don't even mind the aesthetic. If you look at the aesthetic of Bumblebee, he fits with the Bayverse aesthetic, his face and everything. It all fits. Everything from his design of his robot mode with the beetle and everything, it fits. But then you look at all his other characters, and they're like very, very much G1 designs with a little bit of a Bayverse twist, as opposed to a complete like redesign. And it worked for the movie, but I would like to see them kind of hit the restart button, go back, give us. I could take a whole 2-hour movie of that opening Cybertron sequence. I would love to see background of Cybertron. I would even like to see what it was like before. Show me before everything went to hell. Don't just give me like 5-10 minutes of like, oh, everything was great, but then the Decepticons took over and everything went to shit and everything was fighting and we depleted all our resources. Like, I want to see everything before that. I would take a whole movie and then give me like a sequel where they're on Earth. Like, I don't even care if it has humans in it at all. Like, this movie proved that you can have the dialogue between all those characters without any humans involved, and it's entertaining. The sad thing is, this movie is not doing as well as some of the other, popcorn flicks that Michael Bay put out, which is kind of a shame.
But I heard it's still staying steady at number 3. And maybe got a little bit of an increase.
And
it
hasn't, I don't think it's come out internationally yet either. So that's kind of...
It'll still be considered, they still think it's projected to be considered a financial flop, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. But if you look at it, like, what was it? Not last night. What was the 2 before last night? What were they? The 2 before last night were both, I think, $1 billion worldwide grosses.
Dark of the Moon and what's the other one?
Yeah, Dark of the Moon and
Age of Extinction.
They were huge. I think they're still, like, if you look at like the top worldwide box office, they're like in the top 20 or something crazy like that. Like, that's nuts. And unfortunately, this movie being better than those is not gonna do. I mean, I don't even think it's gonna do 500-600 million.
Well, one problem, they've released it at the same time as Aquaman and Spider-Man. They already know an animated Spider-Man. Everybody's gonna take their kids to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they can't release it. It would have done worse if they would have released it in the summer with all the blockbuster movies and all that.
Or they could have released it at the beginning of December.
They could have,
because I know it's been ready.
I know a lot of people are saying, like, it felt like they made the Bumblebee movie and then they added in like the other stuff to just kind of like make fans happy. I don't necessarily think that's the case.
I think that's actually confirmed.
Yeah, they said in the test screening they didn't have any. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Test screening lacked. The opening began with an introduction, like voiceover from Bumblebee, that led into Sector 7 actively chasing him, as if he had been around since World War II, and they kept tracking him down and chasing him, and he was in the Jeep mode from then, carried over. That this government, they had Megatron in hiding, and they were actively seeking out Bumblebee and chasing him. And the movie starts with them in pursuit. So they tweaked the entire opening to fill in the Cybertron part. And then the cliff jumper part later in the film is actually, when you watch the movie, you can tell that it was cut into the scene, because it's a very raw cut from when she turns the keys trying to get Bumblebee started to when they zip out to space and then zip back right in. It doesn't fit right. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
But you could tell that it was cut in and it wasn't meant to be there.
I get the sense that Travis Knight wanted to do a lot more than he was allowed to get away with. I think he kind of had a leash on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, too, though, I think that the ending scene, post-credits, well, mid-credits, whatever you want to call it, that destroys continuity. Because this isn't just Megatron. Yeah. I mean, this isn't just Optimus coming down and like, hey, everything looks good. I'm going to peace out until, 2007? I'll set my clock. You see all of the, what, I think it's eight more entries falling in from space. That's, I don't know. To me, that destroys continuity. Sector 7 clearly does not have Megatron because they never mentioned it. It's the same base. Mm-hmm. It's the same. It's the damn. No one ever makes mention of it. So I got to admit, Megatron can't be there. It just doesn't make any sense that he's there.
I heard that it was originally an end credit scene where they did show him.
Right.
And they said, I also heard that John Cena's character was going to be way more serious and not as jokey funny.
Yeah. And they realized that and they had a lot of slapsticky crap that the Bay stuff has, like when Bumblebee electrocuted himself in the house. that scene was a lot longer because all the fucking appliances came to life again from, you know, being infused with energon and transformium or whatever the fuck they want to say.
I'm happy they cut that out.
Right, and they were going to do that bit again because it was so fucking funny the first time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just,
I mean,
that
they
was product placement.
There was definitely some moments, as good as the movie was, there was definitely some moments where I was like, oh, they're going to do that? Like the whole, like, the diving thing at the end. Like, oh, they set up the backstory with she was a diver and her dad died, and then
but that wasn't really necessary because Bumblebee was
that
fine.
was useless.
Yeah. And what you know, she has to dive into the water to save a robot that doesn't need to breathe from drowning. That was like weird, but you know, I think there was one other moment where I was like, "Yep, they're gonna do that," and they did it, and it was kind of corny. The shirt thing with what was the kid's name? Memo, whatever.
Memo.
The whole thing with the shirt and like he took his shirt off, and I was like, it was the obvious like, oh, Michael Bay always found a way to get a girl out of her shirt. Now we're gonna have a guy have some stupid reason why. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know.
Because it's like them being with their hands up out of the sunroof wasn't enough. She had to actually blindfold herself.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite things. The sunroof thing. That was a straight up cartoony thing right there because Bumblebee clearly didn't have a sunroof at any point besides that part of the movie. And when it came back in, the sunroof would completely disappeared again.
It was just.
But that's something they would do in the cartoon.
Yeah, I love the part with the
could you explain that away then? Yeah, that was funny.
That was good.
Could you explain that part away by saying it wasn't really a sunroof, but he just partially transformed his roof back?
It must have been. But
you know what?
She told him, she was like, open up, like it was there the whole time.
Yeah, maybe he just retracted a bit. Maybe he did that. Who knows?
Maybe he's
we've seen before Bumblebee can just fall apart and reform, right? Because that's how Transformers work.
Yeah, in real life.
Yeah. But it's so gratifying when we go to the moon, or what I keep saying the moon, it wasn't. It was orbiting one of Saturn's moons. When they go to one of Saturn's moons and you see a red robot with his half dome shaped head with little horns and shit, and when he says that his name is Cliff Jumper, and it looks like Cliff Jumper, that's all we want.
Yeah.
That's all we wanted as a fandom.
The beginning part, the beginning sequence, when that came on, like I literally almost a tear came to my eyes.
Yeah.
When they showed RC, because they completely hid her. Like I never expected them to have RC, and she looks like RC.
Perfect.
That blew me away. Yeah. And then they showed Braun. It was like so much stuff all at once.
Yeah,
that scene was only like a minute and 20 seconds.
That was a blur. It was kind of hard to see. Wheeljack was great. Like
yes. And then even the Seekers, the Seekers were.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say for all the multitude of Seekers and Decepticlones that they had, like you could pick out Seekers that you knew. You saw Starscream, you saw Thundercracker, you saw friggin' you saw Coneheads. That's what we wanted, man. Like that's the only one in the movie they really kind of fudged up was Blitzwing, and he's just like kind of is what it is, you know. And it was still cool looking. He was still a Seeker. I mean, Blitzwing wasn't a Seeker.
And they never used his name either. But I think I don't know. I kind of think I'm wondering if maybe originally that he wanted that to be Starscream, and then somebody shut him down.
I don't think so,
that would make me happy if that was what it was supposed to be.
Because of his fate, I don't think that was Starscream.
Right. True.
But that sequence, when that does come out on DVD or Blu-ray or digital, I can just see me watching that sequence over and over again. That fight sequence. Yeah, that was cool.
And that was the other thing too. The fights were like it wasn't just parts flying off of big clashing gray things.
Yeah.
The fights were choreographed. They were cool. The camera pulled back and let you saw what was happening. The only time that the camera was hugging it close to the fight was when you're supposed to be down with Charlie when she's running for her life and you're at the human point of view. And all you see is giant legs.
You ever
Right. You can
notice
still see.
in those original movies, if you go back and watch them, there's always like it's daytime and like there's stuff happening, like a little bit of stuff had like driving around in cars and whatnot, and then it's like all of a sudden it's night. Like it goes from it's daytime and then it's night and then that's when all the action happens and they transform and they have their robot death match. And there's like 3 scenes in the original movie where the exact same thing happens, and it's like, all right, the start of this scene is in full broad daylight, and then wouldn't you know it, it's dusk, and then boom, it's dark out, and we can't see shit, and that's when the robots decide to fight.
Yeah, I do remember that with when Barricade first showed up. It was daytime, bright daytime.
Yeah.
But then when Bumblebee and Barricade were fighting, it was dark. And then when they pulled out of that tunnel, it was daytime again, right?
Yep. They have like Minecraft freaking day-night cycles in those movies.
Or Ocarina of Time.
And what would you guys pick out as your one moment of triumph, or like your maybe I don't know, favorite part or something that sticks out to you from the movie, that positive, good thing? Well, you think about it. Mine is the part towards the end, huh?
Character development. I actually didn't hate the people. To me personally,
right.
Even though they showed a lot of people, I didn't hate them. I know Plastic Addict hates humans. He's probably talking about that in the comments right now.
He is.
But I actually didn't care. I liked the people, and I liked the interaction between Charlie and Bumblebee. Now, would it have been better if Bumblebee didn't lose his memory and he was still a badass? Probably.
Right.
But this movie was pretty much what I wanted the original movie to be once it actually started, before the Autobots came in, and that's what I got.
Yeah, I'd have to say my biggest thing is what little bit we got of Optimus Prime in this movie. He was Optimus Prime. He had that optimistic, that leadership personality, that like mentor. He was like, you could tell he was a mentor.
Yeah.
Whereas the Optimus Prime and all the other movies was they made him way more badass and than he really needed to be. And like what was the one line where he's like, I'm gonna rip off your face, and like there's parts of like really he was just like, he was not the character that we remember as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, and he wasn't even in it that long, but it was enough to make an impression.
Yes.
I'll throw out my one part, and I some people that I talked to at work actually missed this part. When I think it might be Dropkick. I think when Bumblebee is fighting Dropkick at the end of the movie, there's a part, and it happens fast, that some people may not even catch, but he throws Bumblebee, and you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
He chucks Bumblebee. Bumblebee transforms mid-air, lands on his tires, scoots around, pulls a U-turn, and then drives full speed back up at him and uses his forward momentum and transforms back into him and crashes in. And if that wasn't an homage to the opening with Jazz from the opening of the original G1 cartoon, that when I saw that and realized what had just happened,
me too. That gave me goosebumps too.
Gave me goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No, well, I liked in the beginning, the opening sequence when Soundwave appeared, and you could just see, even with the mask on, you could see the fear in Optimus's face. Like, we got to get out of here.
Yeah. The heavy hitters just showed up. We gotta get the hell out.
Oh, and how about the detail of having his mask move up and down when he talked?
I noticed it, but I didn't pay attention to it until somebody brought it up.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Only thing they don't do yet is make the Transformers able to talk while they're vehicles. It's like, for some reason, they make them inaudible when they're vehicles.
That's true. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And that's another.
They talked.
That whole Bumblebee not being able to talk thing. That's another thing that I would like to see. Just we've had enough of it.
Away. Yeah.
You know, you had a whole movie dedicated to it. Now, just go away. Like he could give him his voice back.
Yeah, give him Siri again.
Yeah.
Which is, and the unfortunate part was I actually liked the voice actor they got for Bumblebee for the opening in the movie. Like, if they'd have stuck with that, I wouldn't have been mad. He was good.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like what a younger kind of spunky Bumblebee would sound like, and I was happy with it. It makes sense in this movie that he lost his voice, considering the timeline. But at the end of the 07 movie, he gets his voice back inexplicably, without us knowing why.
And then he loses it again. Yeah.
And then he loses it again for no reason.
I wish to stay with the boy.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't have anything else to add that hasn't been already said about this. If they rolled into a sequel to this movie and had it be an 80s set continuation of the story, I'd be happy. But I think I'm agreeing with you, Joe, that they need to take a step back. Although they did announce that they are doing a all on Cybertron animated movie. That was announced.
Yeah, I love it. Do it.
So I'm cautiously optimistic, especially in like the DC movies. Animated movies have always been pretty good, more or less. And then the Into the Spider-Verse was really good. So hopefully they find a good.
It's going to be animated in the sense that the new Lion King is animated live action.
All right. Well, I'm down for that. I mean, what are we talking about?
Oh, it's going to be that kind of animated. All right, I was picturing like cartoon animated.
Well, it's going to be like, it's supposed to be like what we saw at the beginning, but hopefully, if they go in knowing that, hey, this is the whole movie, it might look even more polished, and they might look less. That is one issue. That as cool as the opening sequence was, it didn't feel. It felt more cartoony than when they were on Earth. Like Shatter and Dropkick looked way more real than the stuff we were seeing on Cybertron.
Yeah, there was a lot going on though in that. That was once the movie, like you said, once the Blu-ray comes out, you can maybe pick out a lot more details that we couldn't catch in the theater.
Like somebody said, you could see Teletran 1, and I'm like, I didn't see anything look like Teletran 1.
So I kept that in mind when I went back and watched it the second time in theaters. I still didn't see it, but they say it's there. They say it's somewhere in the background when they're up on the. And how about that too? That's something else that we know. I haven't heard anybody talk about. Cybertron looks like Cybertron. It's got the same structures, the same towers, the same craters and ravines.
It didn't look like a honeycomb, a giant honeycomb.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like I think this movie was a pretty. I think it deserves all the praise that it got. I could see why people were upset that it can be kind of slow, but if you want to complain that the Bay movies don't develop characters and it's just nothing but mindless action, you can't, on the other hand, complain that this is throttled back action with a lot of character development. I mean, it's kind of maybe there's a better balance of the two, but I'll take what we got in Bumblebee over what we got with the other movies any day of the week.
Yeah,
agreed. Bumblebee.
That's just my thoughts. Your mileage may vary, but you like what you like.
If you go in hating, you're gonna hate it.
Exactly.
And if you don't go to the movies and you sit home and watch the bootleg version where you still have access to using your phone and you're not paying attention, you're gonna be bored anyway.
Oh,
that sounds like a direct shot across the bow.
Yeah.
That is how I plan on seeing Into the Spider-Verse, though.
Uh-oh. I think I'm about to get my Marvel Legends Killmonger and Claw because I just got charged.
Where'd you get them through?
Amazon.
Oh, cool. So stay tuned for those chill reviews. Breaking news, chill reviews incoming. So I guess that's you guys have anything else to add, or we want to wrap?
Wrap
it up.
I got
all right, guys. All right, I don't want to keep you from your food, and I'm getting sleepy. I started the show sleepy, but that's nothing new. All All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We partial staff today. We didn't have Zero or Dave. Hopefully, we'll see them next week. We had a Dave facsimile here though. That was your cue, but no, we'll move on.
Really?
Waiting for it. Yeah, really?
It's like he's really here. But we'll just real quick, Joe, where can we find you?
Right here. Not next week. I won't be here. But the week after that, I will be here. And I will be on Facebook. Actually, I'm not really on Facebook that much. Next week, no one's really going to see or hear much of me at all because I'm going to be on a boat in the middle of the ocean heading to the Bahamas. And I hopefully will have no data service, no signal whatsoever, unplugged. So you will see me again the following week. And if you want to go back and look at some of my really cool toy photography that deserves much more attention than it gets, you can go on the Figure Action Instagram, Figure Action Podcast Instagram page, or search Joe Figure 83, and you will see all my cool toy pics.
T-Mad 978, how about you, sir?
Well, you can find me here every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And if you do a little search for T-Mad 978 without any dashes, you'll be able to find wonderful videos with not my face sometimes, but you'll get to see my lovely hands that sometimes I forget to put lotion on. But this was a good show for me too, like you just said. So I'm happy, even though the other guys weren't here.
So there you go, T-Man approved.
Yes. So now we can get over to Parts Former, and I can finish my food.
I don't want to keep you any longer from your food. I am Parts Former. I am Parts Former on the social medias and the Twitters and the Xbox Lives and the Instagrams, and right here every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern with Figure Action, the Collector's Podcast. Thank you all for coming out. We appreciate your time, your effort, and your enthusiasm with the show, and we hope to bring you content that you guys like and want to hear more from our stupid faces. So everybody, I'm going to plug my mouse back in so I can actually sign off the show. Good night, everybody.
Bye.